Okay students, now we will study about the structure of nephron. I explained you that there are millions of nephrons inside the kidney and they are responsible for the filtration of blood. So this is the structure of nephron. You can say the nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney, and you can say the millions of nephrons are present in a kidney. Okay, so now this is the structure. So basically nephron comprises of two components. First is Malpighian body, and or you can say the renal corpuscle, and second is renal tubule. Okay, so Malpighian body or renal corpuscles, again I told you renal is associated with the term kidney. Okay, so renal corpuscles consist of two components, that is glomerules and Bowman's capsule. Okay, so, and now the renal tubule consists of the three components. First is proximal convoluted tube, that we can say in short form PCT, and distal convoluted tube, that we can say it as DCT, and then loop of Henle. See the structure here, the cup shaped structure is present. This cup shaped structure is called as Bowman's capsule. Okay, so this cup shaped structure, this is called as Bowman. See this cup shaped structure, this is called as Bowman's capsule. And now here this tuft of capillaries is called as glomerules. See here, this is Bowman's capsule, and this is, and here the tuft of capillaries are called as glomerules. And now renal tubule, this is a long tube type of structure. It consists of proximal convoluted tube, that is PCT. Here the PCT is there, and then this is the descending limb, and then this is loop of Henle. This is ascending limb, and this is again DCT, that is distal convoluted tube, and it is connected to the collecting duct. And here the filtrate, or you can say the urine get collected in the collecting duct, and from collecting duct it filters down, it drains down to the ureters. Okay, I told you, I explained you now the excretory organ of human beings. I told you the two kidneys are connected with the ureters. So here from the collecting duct itself, the urine drains to the ureters. Okay. So now first just learn this diagram, about the diagram. Okay, so this tubular structure here, see the blood capillaries, or you can say the blood vessels are there, which is having very you can say the blood vessels are present, which is having very close proximity with this tubular structure. That is this is going very close to the tubular structure. They are having very close proximity to the tubular structure. See here, from here the blood get enter into that. I explained you the blood get enter into the kidney through renal artery. So renal artery divides to form afferent arteriole, and afferent arteriole again goes, and after going down into the Bowman's capsule, this afferent arteriole divides to form a tuft of capillaries, that is called as glomerules. And again glomerules reunite to form efferent arteriole. Okay. So from renal artery divide to form afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole, when reaches to the Bowman's capsule, forms a tuft of capillaries, that is called as glomerules, and after that it reunite to form efferent arteriole. Okay, so the diameter of afferent arteriole is much wider than that of efferent arteriole. Means this is wider, whereas this is comparatively narrower. Due to this, the blood is having get in pressure. Obviously, due to here the vessels are wide, here it will getting narrow. So definitely the pressure will increase. Due to this increase in pressure, the filtrate gas oozes out here. Okay, now I will explain you, and the ultrafiltration occurs. Okay, so I will explain you in the formation of urine, or you can say the function of kidney now. Okay, so this is the structure of nephron. Okay, students, now we will learn this formation of urine. Okay, so there are the steps. First is ultrafiltration. Okay, so what is ultrafiltration? Ultrafiltration again occurs in this region, that is in Bowman's capsule. Okay, here I am writing here one. This is Bowman's capsule. Here the ultrafiltration occurs. That I told you that the blood is coming from the afferent arteriole, and here the diameter of afferent arteriole is wide, whereas efferent arteriole diameter is narrow. So due to this, it will create pressure, and due to this pressure, the blood, the liquid will ooze out of this glomerules. Okay, and that liquid is called as, we will call it as nephric filtrate. This liquid that ooze out from the glomerules is said to be as nephric filtrate. Nephric filtrate consists of useful materials as well as harmful substances. Useful materials means it consists of amino acids, it consists of glucose, it consists of vitamins, it consists of few amount of water, it consists of important salts. Whereas harmful substances means it consists of urea, uric acid. So this nephric filter which is oozing out from this glomerules consists of this useful as well as the waste substances. So first process is ultrafiltration that occurs in glomerules under high pressure. Why the pressure is creating? Because the blood is flowing through the capillaries from wider capillaries to narrower capillaries, forcing many of the substance dissolved in the blood into the Bowman's capsule. So that filtrate is called as nephric filtrate. So now this blood is called as nephric filtrate. Now this filtrate consists of many useful as well as harmful components. Next process is selective reabsorption. Okay, selective reabsorption. Now see here the nephric filtration passes into this tubular part. So first is PCT, that is proximal convoluted tube. So second process of this formation of urine is selective reabsorption. Now the blood passes into the tubular part of nephron where the important substance. See, I told you the blood vessels are in close proximity to the tubular part. So from here the blood capillaries will absorb few important or useful substances. That's why we are calling it selective reabsorption. Why we are telling it selective reabsorption? Because it's absorbing the selective things. Means it's absorbing the important things from the tubular part. Or why it's reabsorption? Because first absorption takes place while the process of digestion. It's again the useful substances are absorbing here. That's why it's called as selective reabsorption. So now here the selective reabsorption will take place. In this, from the nephric filtrate, when this nephric filtrate passes out from that PCT, this blood vessels reabsorb, or you can say the selective reabsorb, the useful substances. What are those useful substances? Often this question will be asked in your exam. What are the useful substances which will get absorbed during the selective reabsorption process? So those useful substances are, you can learn it by a word. I'm just making it easy for you, by the word swag. You learn swag. Okay, S for salts, W for water, A for amino acids, and G for glucose. Okay, so important substances get reabsorbed here in the PCT. So blood capillaries which are having the close proximity with that tubule absorb this useful substances. Okay, so here the filtrate gets selectively reabsorbed. Now see here, now the filtrate passing through that descending limb, and again the filtrate passing through this loop of Henle. What is the function of loop of Henle? When the filtrate is present in the loop of Henle, it absorbs, the absorption of water takes place. So here the absorption of water takes place in the loop of Henle. Then now the filtrates go along with the ascending limb and reaches to the descent. What happens in the DCT? Now I just want to tell you, in PCT, about only 80% of the selective reabsorption occurs. Only 80% of the important substance gets absorbed here. Last 20% substance get reabsorbed here in this DCT. So here I am written here that PCT, only 80% of this swag that I told you, this important useful substances, only 80% of these useful substances get absorbed here. Remaining 80% will get absorbed in DCT. So now tubular secretion. So now, okay, selective reabsorption is second, and here the third process will occur. What will happen in DCT? In DCT, you can see the tubular secretion will take place in DCT. Here remaining 20% absorption of useful substances, that is of salt, water, amino acid and glucose takes place, and removal of toxic substances from the blood capillaries into DCT. Maybe blood contains some toxic substances sometimes. Sometimes the blood carries the drugs which has to be excreted out of the body. Sometimes blood may contain the toxic substances. So here in the DCT, the toxic substances get toxic substances get removed out of the blood capillaries into this DCT tube, through which those toxic substances get excrete out with the urine. Okay. So now in the tubular secretion, both happens. Reabsorption also occurs, and selective and tubular secretion also happens. So in this third in DCT, two processes occur: selective reabsorption also and tubular secretion also. Now the urine, that filtrate get changes into urine. Now in the collecting duct, that filtrate we will set that filtrate as urine. Now collecting duct collect all urine. Now we will discuss about the fourth point, concentration of urine. If sometimes we drink less water, then definitely the concentration of urine is high. Then when concentration of urine is high, then our body secretes ADH hormone, that is antidiuretic hormone. Okay, that is also known as vasopressin. Okay, then our body secrete, I am writing here only because it's not so important. Or if the concentration of urine is high, then our body secretes ADH hormone or vasopressin hormone. Vasopressin. ADH full form is antidiuretic hormone. Okay. So in the if the concentration of urine is more, if we drink very less water, then only ADH hormone or vasopressin may get secrete out. Okay. Otherwise it will not secrete. Now the urine get collected into the collecting duct. Through the collecting duct, it will again passes down into the ureter, and from the ureter it will get collected into the urinary bladder. And when urinary bladder get filled out, or half of the urinary bladder get filled, then the urine excrete out by the urethra. Okay, so until the urinary bladder, until the pressure extended bladder, it goes to passes through the urethra. So this is about the formation of urine. Okay, now the last topic left is the artificial kidney or hemodialysis.